Hello, and welcome to the 20th episode of LGBTQIA+, Heroes, Icons, Legends, and Events. This series of programs covers a wide variety of topics, such as the Rainbow Honor Walk in San Francisco and entertainers Freddie Mercury and RuPaul. Matthew Wayne Shepard was born December 1st, 1976 in Casper, Wyoming. He was the eldest son of Judy and Dennis Shepard. He and his younger brother Logan were very close. Matt's favorite toy was a stuffed animal bunny named Oscar who went everywhere with him. Matt enjoyed dressing as Dolly Parton on Halloween. As a child, he got along with his classmates, but he was frequently teased and often bullied because of his slight build, his lack of athletic ability, and the braces he wore most of his life. Matt became interested in acting and politics at a young age. Matt's family moved to Saudi Arabia in 1994, where his father worked for Saudi Aramco. During this time, Matt studied at the American School in Switzerland, where he studied theater, German, and Italian. Matt was easygoing and kind, and he had no trouble making friends. He graduated in 1995. That same year, he participated in a school trip to Morocco. While on this trip, he was robbed, raped, and beaten by 6 men. He soon began to complain of depression and panic attacks, and he was hospitalized many times. He had been raised as an Episcopalian and before this event had been optimistic and kind-hearted, accepting of everyone he met. The attack in Morocco broke his spirit. Matt attended Catawba College in North Carolina before making a move back west at his parents' request. He attended Casper College in Wyoming before beginning his studies at the University of Wyoming in Laramie. He studied political science and minored in languages. He was chosen to be the student representative for the Wyoming Environmental Council. He also came out to his family and friends as gay. He became very active in the small campus gay community. Matt had been experimenting with hard drugs, and his friends suspected that he was also selling drugs. On the evening of October 6, 1998, Matt met Erin McKinney and Russell Henderson while drinking at the Fireside Lounge in Laramie. They offered to give Matt a ride home. Instead, they took him to a deserted area on the prairie where they robbed him of $30 and beat and tortured him. They tied him to a fence and left him to die. Matt was found by a bicyclist 18 hours later. Police arrived to find him alive but comatose and covered in blood. The only clean spots on his face were the tracks of his tears. Matt was first taken to Ivinson Memorial Hospital in Laramie and then transported to the trauma ward at Poudre Valley Hospital in Fort Collins, Colorado. His injuries, including skull fractures, had caused severe brain damage, and doctors could not operate on his wounds. His parents were notified of his injuries, and they made the long journey from Saudi Arabia to be at his side. By the time they arrived in Fort Collins, President Bill Clinton had sent best wishes to the family. A candlelight vigil attended by hundreds of people had formed in front of the hospital. Matt's case was the subject of national news. He was kept on full life support and never regained consciousness. He was pronounced dead on October 12, 1998. He was 21 years old. Matt's funeral took place at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Casper, Wyoming, where he had been baptized. The service attracted international media and an overflowing crowd of over 700 mourners. 2 members of President Bill Clinton's administration attended the funeral. The funeral service also attracted about a dozen anti-gay demonstrators from the Westboro Baptist Church. They held their protest across the street from the church and held signs that said, "Fear God, not fags," "No special laws for fags," and "Matt in hell." Counter-demonstrators challenged the anti-gay protest with a protest of their own. Interviewed by a CNN reporter, David Anderson of Casper said, quote, "This isn't what Jesus Christ would do. This isn't what Christians do. They don't condemn people. This just upsets me. This whole circus upsets me." Russell Henderson and Erin McKinney were arrested and charged with first-degree murder. At trial, they admitted that they had targeted him for robbery. They thought that he was carrying drugs and potentially a lot of cash from selling drugs. The 2 men pretended to be gay to lure him out of the bar. Russell Henderson pled guilty to kidnapping and murder. To avoid the death penalty, he testified against his accomplice, Erin McKinney, and was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. Aaron McKinney was found guilty of felony murder and was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Although Matt's parents are pro-death penalty, they advocated for life sentences for their son's killers. Matt's murder drew attention long after the trials ended. It was alleged by investigative journalists that the attack was not a hate crime motivated by Matt's sexuality, but that it was a drug-related robbery that turned violent. The Book of Matt by Stephen Jimenez put forth the theory that Matt was a methamphetamine user and dealer and that his murder was the result of a drug deal gone bad. His book infuriated gay rights advocates. Many celebrities, including Ellen DeGeneres, were advocates for hate crime legislation and spoke out on Matt's behalf at a candlelight vigil in Washington, D.C. Matt's mother, Judy Shepard, has worked as an advocate for LGBT rights, especially issues facing gay teens. She and her husband founded the Matthew Shepard Foundation on December 1, 1998, Matt's 22nd birthday. 3 films were made about Matt's story: The Laramie Project, based on the play of the same name, in 2000, Anatomy of a Hate Crime in 2001, and The Matthew Shepard Story in 2002. Both The Laramie Project and The Matthew Shepard Story won numerous awards. 3 documentary films also told the story of Matt's life and death. Dear Jesse and Laramie Inside Out focus on the effects of homophobia. Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine is a touching 2012 documentary directed by Matt's close friend, Michelle Hosway. It tells the story of Matt's personal life as seen through the eyes of his close friends and family. After years of proposed hate crime legislation, the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act was signed into law by President Barack Obama on October 28, 2009. Judy and Dennis Shepard attended the ceremony, along with Betty Byrd Boatner and Luvon Harris, the sisters of James Byrd Jr., who was the victim of a horrific lynching in June 1998. In June 2019, Matt was one of the first 50 American heroes inducted on the National LGBTQ Wall of Honor in the Stonewall National Monument in the Stonewall Inn in New York City. On April 29, 2013, basketball player Jason Collins publicly came out as gay. He was the first active male athlete from a North American professional sports team to do so. He was a free agent temporarily, and then he signed with the Nets, who had moved to Brooklyn, New York. On February 23, 2014, he played with the Nets against the Los Angeles Lakers and became the first openly gay male athlete to play in a North American professional sports league. He chose to wear jersey number 98 in honor of Matt. Sales of the jersey in the NBA's online shop benefited the Matthew Shepard Foundation and the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. On October 26, 2018, Matt's ashes were interred in a crypt at the Washington National Cathedral. It was the first interment of the ashes of a public figure at the cathedral since the interment of Helen Keller's ashes 50 years earlier. For more information about the Matthew Shepard Foundation, visit the website matthewshepard.org. To know more, go to our website, gwinnettpl.org, to check out the following suggested items: The Book of Matt, Hidden Truths About the Murder of Matthew Shepard by Stephen Jimenez. October Morning, A Song for Matthew Shepard by Leslie Newman. Also, visit our website's digital resources to discover Canopy, our streaming service. Currently, there are 3 documentaries about Matthew Shepard: Journey to a Hate-Free Millennium, Laramie Inside Out, and Matt Shepard is a Friend of Mine. Thank you for watching.